Welcome to a couple of monkeys.
A couple weeks ago, my wife and I set up this fence around the pool to try to keep our child safe. We have one big issue that we needed to address. We have no gates into the pool area now. Now the gate to this fence does exist, but it was out of stock and it's pretty pricey. So I ended up jumping onto ViaCAD and sketching up the design I wanted in order to make this gate. First I had to take the vertical measurement and then the horizontal measurement. And I subtracted 1.5 inches from each side in order to make up for the overlap of the boards. I'm basically sandwiching two sets of boards together in order to make this gate. Then I created a horizontal brace for this gate. I have some pressure treated 2x4s available to me that I'm going to be making this project out of. This way I can have it so it's outdoors and I don't have to worry too much about it. So starting with two 2x4x8s, I cut them with a circular saw to a rough estimate of how long I needed. I set up the table saw in order to rip these things in half. So altogether I have 5 boards that I'm going to rip in half. Now I can cut the 2x4s into about 1.5 inches. Now I square up the corners of all of the boards using a miter gauge. And while I'm doing this, I cut it to a more exact length. I create a basic frame and use screws to hold everything together. I used the piece of Reson material left over in order to make the diagonal brace and attach it with some screws. Now I cut off any overlapping material with a circular saw. Now we sandwich the fence webbing with the pieces of wood. This gives me a huge advantage where I don't have to cut out a section of the fence and I don't have to have extra hinges or hardware in order to make this gate functional. Now this is basically a finished product right here, but we wanted to fancy it up just a little bit by adding some pulls in order to open the gate. Now in a previous project, we made a whole bunch of walnut handles for our kitchen. If I remember to do it, I'll make sure the link is in the upper right hand corner. And we felt that we might as well use the excess handles on this project. So now I need to take apart the frame in order to access the area that I want to attach the handle to. I mark an area on the board where the bolts will go through. Then I drill a hole through the board and attach the handle to the board with the nuts. And tighten the nuts with an Allen key. And now I can reattach the board to the frame. And that's how we ended up making this beautiful little gate. If you like this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing to our channel.